All right, so it's Friday, about 4 o'clock Eastern time. I am done with my work for the day. So we're gonna do a little Commish's Corner solo here. I've had a tough time connecting with Jay last week and Mike this week, and I'm sure we'll get those guys on at some point to talk and introduce themselves and go over that stuff. But with the Ryder Cup blazing right now and with football coming up, like I got to get something. I can't take 2 full weeks off. It's just not good. So I figured I'd come in, give a quick little recap of what's going on, speak on some controversial topics that have come up in the last couple of days for some reason or another, and then get out of here and have everybody enjoy their weekend. So here's what we got in terms of standings. And you'll sort of see me going back and forth between two screens here. I got my real computer in the back for the office, and then I got my laptop here. So I'm looking at the standings. We've got 4 teams at 2-0 right now. K-Mac, Mikey, Alex, Haskins. Okay? And I can just tell you the fact that K-Mac, Mikey, and Alex are on top right now drives me absolutely insane, because I guess those are my 3 biggest rivals. Now, you know what? I'm not gonna put K-Mac in the rival category, but Mikey and Alex, absolutely my 2 biggest rivals. And to see them on top right now drives me absolutely insane. But that's okay. I think that'll even out, and here's why. Looking at the points for, K-Mac is on top, and K-Mac should be on top. This team is absolutely stacked this year. Okay? And here's why. Brady and Danny Dimes starting 2 quarterbacks. That's great until Justin Fields comes along. So if those 2 work out, you got a high upside backup there. 2 great running backs. James White is a backup. 3, 4 exceptional receivers, exceptional tight end, backups to every single position. It's I don't want to jinx it here, because I know that K-Mac sometimes starts off 2 or 3-0 and then goes downhill. But I mean, this looks pretty good for right now. Mikey and Alex, on the other hand, I can see some flaws, and here's why. Mikey is second in points for. He's also third least in points against. So could be some smoke and mirrors there. Alex is third in points for and 8th-ish in points against. So again, he's not getting a ton of points scored against him. But either way, we got a long way to go, obviously, and I know I overreact to every single week. Like I know it's just a weakness of mine. Like my team has a shitty week. It's the worst team ever. My team has a great week. It's the best team ever. And that's just how it is. I live day by day in this shit. Number 2, big thing that's come up this week: trading, fairness of trades, etc., etc. Here are my thoughts on the matter. There's a difference between negligence as an owner and bad judgment as an owner. One of those 2 things is acceptable. So starting with my trade with Claire, I make it Jonathan Taylor for Devin Singletary, for Laviska Shenault, and for Jacoby Brissett. I immediately get just angry text messages from John, Alex, and Mikey, which is all good. You have the right to be upset. Okay? Steve makes a trade with Dave. A.J. Brown for Mac Jones. I'll repeat that again. A.J. Brown for Mac Jones. And I know that Dave made that trade specifically thinking I will get upset about it. I'm not upset at all. Everybody knows what happened. Steve could have very easily gotten Dave's top 2 quarterbacks, one of his top 2 quarterbacks, instead of Mac Jones, who, despite being incredible in real life, is incredibly bad in fantasy, for A.J. Brown, but didn't, because Steve's been super busy, and I get that. But yeah, Dave did what he normally does, which is if somebody's checked out for a week, he goes and pounces, and I respect the game. It's on me to put owners in my league who take care of their teams. Claire does that. Now, whether you agree with her judgment on valuations of players is one thing. but she has never set an incomplete lineup. She's well aware of what she's trading. She has the ability to make her own decisions. Now, again, whether you agree with those or not is beside the point. She can take care of her own team. Steve, I don't know. The jury is out. We've had a couple years in a row now where, because of not drafting, he's had no quarterbacks and has been forced to trade his best players for very middling options. And here, it would have taken one counteroffer of Stafford or Carr, and Dave still makes that trade, and Steve has a legitimate quarterback starter. Obviously, that didn't happen here. And Dave, I know what you're thinking. This is not right against you, because Steve's in the league. So if he makes a bad trade, that's not your problem. It's his problem. So I have no issue with what you did. It's what you do. Not mad about it. Just is what it is. Point being, I don't get mad at. I don't veto. I'll never veto owners who know what they're doing. Let me rephrase that. Not owners who know what they're doing. Owners who take care of their teams. Owners who set the lineup and make decisions on whatever criteria they would like. So if Steve says, I want Mac Jones because he's a Patriot, I want to root for him, and I'll become a worse team in the process, I have no issue with that. That's what he's used. As long as he's setting his lineup, I've got no issue. Same thing with Claire. Same thing with anybody else. As long as there's no, I'm going to trade your best players to me, and we'll split the prize money, or trade your best players to me, and I don't care anymore, then we're good. I think we're good at least. Now, going forward, has been some commotion every year about cutting down on owners. And I have to consider it. It's a very shallow league. So if one person doesn't set their lineup, it swings a lot. So we'll consider that in the future. I've thought about cutting down to 12, thought about cutting down to 10, but I love this group. But we'll see. Maybe like a Premier League style, like regression table or something like that. Either way, that's my thoughts on trading. That's my thoughts on managing your team. You can make whatever decisions you want. Just pay attention. Don't cheat. Don't leave your lineup undone. Don't draft no quarterbacks in a 2-quarterback league 2 years in a row if you don't want to. And just, we'll be good. Now here's my thoughts on my team. All of you guys get 1,000 trade requests from me. And here's why. I played too much Madden as a kid. I played Dynasty mode over and over, every single year. And I'm obsessed with trading. I am. It's a weakness. Every year I have a 2-week sample size on a player, 1-week sample size on a player, and I decide that I missed on him. Despite my 6 months of research that would tell me otherwise, I've decided I missed on him because he had a bad game. I'm sure that'll happen again based on the trade I just made. But I never stop looking for ways to improve. That's just my vice. I know it's annoying. I'll fess up to that. I don't care. Just decline if you don't like it. Not my problem. I think that's all I got. The Ryder Cup is the best sporting event in the world. We're in the afternoon session right now. I just saw Bryson DeChambeau launch a 417-yard drive. I am amped to play golf this weekend. I'll be playing on Sunday in a tournament, looking to go back-to-back. Saturday, in case you guys are wondering, I will be on the Cape with my dog for National Dachshund Day, which includes, among other events, a beauty contest, costume contest, best kisser, best cuddler, longest. Either way, I'll be participating in all of them. It'll be my first solo day with my dog and baby at the same time, so you guys can pray for me if you'd like. But yeah, I'm just upfront about the stupid shit that I do, and Last week or last edition of this, it was Eddie's Things, and now we're going National Dachshund Day, and I'm sure that'll be fantastic. Either way, I look forward to another great slate of football. Patriots and Saints, awesome game, and then we get to the Tampa series. Now, if this series continues as planned, John Roberts guest next week. Me and John. Let me put it this way: I respect my fantasy skills quite a bit. Second person in line is probably John. Very good at this game, puts in a lot of work. If you look at the transaction counter right now, I am in the lead, 17 moves. John is in second place. I will say it's probably not a coincidence that him and I are usually perennial contenders. Yeah, I love John, but we are certainly rivals. I consider him a rival because he's the second best player, I think. His regular season accomplishments are well celebrated. His incredible playoff shortcomings are incredibly amazing, frankly. Nobody has had more dominance and failed to capitalize based on just the shittiest run of luck ever. Now, it's a touchy subject. I'm sure we'll touch on that next week. But this is your mini Commish's Corner for week. What are we in? Week three, third edition. We'll try to make up the videos with Mike and Jason going forward. But hopefully you will see John on this next week. And yeah, it's always fun. So it's been real. And looking forward to a good slate of football.